Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙩𝙤, and today I have with me Elmer Yuen, and we have some alarming new developments about these balloons to share with you. This is mostly connecting the dots, as we always say, but our dots have been connected successfully many times in the past. Once or twice we may have missed it, but here is something that we would like to share with you. Here is Elmer Yuen. Elmer, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
How are you? Thank you for inviting me. Sorry, I'm not very well dressed.
No worries, no worries. You look very fine. You are dapper and you are active, and that's what matters. So, Elmer, these hypersonic missiles that we've been hearing about from China for many years now, maybe 2 years now, and are the balloons being married with the hypersonic missiles? Was that the message CCP was sending to Anthony Blinken prior to his visit to China?
Yeah. It's altogether, including the one to Nicaragua, 5 balloons. Balloon sounds harmless. In fact,
Yes.
I just got the news, all right, from my friends in Washington. During Trump's era as president, there were 3 of them actually came into US. And this guy, this General Mini, he did not report. He thought this is harmless. So he didn't report. He didn't want to alarm people. So this has been going on for quite some time. There is actually a military unit based in Hainan Island. That's if I translate it properly, it's called a stratospheric. Stratospheric is roughly about 15
Stratosphere.
kilometers.
Yeah. About
that
right,
level.
right.
That's about our jet plane. Stratospheric.
Yes.
Airship unit. There's a military unit. The airship. That's the way to it. They call it ships. They don't call it balloons. All right, because they can be. If they can control the direction and so on, the flight. It's no longer a balloon. It's a ship. All right. So they actually have a force based in Hainan, and they can be producing thousands, if not tens of thousands of such things. Now, this force exists. Finally, people start to pay attention. And once they flew one balloon, let's call it balloon or airship, around the world once without refuel. All right, and that was their success. It's all recorded in the Chinese record. They were very happy about it, celebrating, and people didn't think of them seriously. They think it's like another Lindbergh, right, flying across the Atlantic. It's not a problem. Most people think about peaceful manner, especially about balloon. Nobody think about it as a weapon. Now, last year, you remember, China tested the hypersonic missiles.
Yes.
All right. Of course, the hypersonic missile could be nuclear or non-nuclear. Let's say it's nuclear. All right. It is very hard. And hypersonic means traveling at least Mach 5 or up, 5 to 10. All right. And stratosphere is roughly the first balloon they discover is the highest, about 20 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. 20. All right. And that one, if the amateur photographer did not spot it above Montana, it would have come easily to the east coast of America. And they can control it. Now this time it went out of South Carolina. But they can also control it right above Washington. Right? Not above Washington. If they didn't report, Biden would not report it. This chief of staff, Mini, would not report it. They wanted the meeting to go on, so they just let it go. But think about the threat. If the airship is 20 kilometers above Washington, and it can shoot any missile using the hypersonic with nuclear or without nuclear warhead to Washington within seconds, not minutes, seconds. I mean, you people from India are the best mathematicians. You do a little calculation. Seriously, you understand the speed of sound. Mach 5. This is not a joke. All right?
It's 5 times the speed of sound. Yeah.
And on top of that, you have gravity. You have the gravity from the Earth that pull it down. There is no way to defend it. There's no way to. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, Blinken and the Chinese foreign minister are talking. Chinese minister say, we have something above you, all right, that can hit you in a second. You better accept this term. You think a normal person would have to accept the term just to protect your capital. I'm not kidding. This is how serious it is. And this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. It's balloon science. And good enough. And you are talking about if they can send out hundreds and thousands of them. Of course, now there are ways to detect it. But if there are so many, they do not even have to be in your sovereignty territory. They could be a little bit off. Doesn't matter. But a little bit sideways, maybe another 10, 20 kilometers more to go, shooting it sideways. Still, it's not defensible. This is, I believe, this is what they are threatening. That's what they intend to do it at the talk in Beijing, to show their muscle. We have it, you don't have it, and you have no way. Everything else I have been watching about missiles. If anything shooting from Chinese mainland, all right, it has to climb up and then down, thousands of miles, 5,000-6,000 miles. All right, takes a long time, takes hours. Even from the submarine, all right, it's able to go to, let's say, Hawaii. Shooting from Hawaii, there's a nuclear submarine, still thousands of miles. But when you have something overhead, it rains down on you. This is a threat that this is really what I call the unrestricted war strategy. And this is something they already have. All right. And of course, right now, I heard this time, the first one has been intercepted communication-wise. American was able to control the communication. But China has always been working on the quantum computing, try to get through all kinds of what do you call able to, quantum computer thing is able to not to be blocked. So they are working on it. Hopefully, not right now. I believe in Washington they are taking it very seriously. Normally, when Americans say it's an object, means it's a serious matter. If it's not so serious, it's a balloon. When they call this an object, and Kirby refused to name it as a balloon, or listen to the reporters, means they are taking it very seriously. Remember last time when China was shooting these hypersonic missiles, and I remember Pompeo was calling it's really something. When the American tried to talk down on this, meaning it's very serious. They are American are very simple people. They don't know how to be deceitful. So when they say it's an object, means you better be serious. It's something very serious.
I believe what Secretary Mike Pompeo said was serious, and then a four-letter word that starts with the letter S and ends with the letter T. So you guys can
serious shit. I remember that. I forgot. When they say something like this in the military, they use then it means it's serious. And
yes.
And now, of course, like in the last few months, we watched Americans are trying to catch up, and they've been testing successfully their hypersonic. But so if you marry the two, you know how serious it is. And the timing, they didn't shoot one, and Xi Jinping continually shoot at least 3 or 4 more. It means that he wants to show you. He's not hiding. He wants to show you. You better watch it. And when we before the program, you told me there is some threat from Pakistan of the same nature, right?
Yes. So here's the story from Pakistan side. What I've been hearing is that China has promised Pakistan that we are going to have an international station by December. And with that, we are going to rule the whole world. And you, being a partner to us, you will be somebody who will be so much more powerful than your neighbor. Those are the words that have been told, because India needs to get concerned about this. This is, in Mike Pompeo's word, serious shit. So then you better do something about it. And India needs to really understand where it stands. And we have been telling for the longest time, at least I have been saying this, and I get roundly criticized for it, that India needs to not be neutral anymore. and that this is one moment of time where I think they will have to really take a call on that. The National Security Advisor from India visited US last week. I don't know if the United States shared all the secrets with him or not. Clearly, this is very, very important. Viewers, even if 10% of what we are revealing here is true, even that is bad for humanity. That's the point that I think we are trying to make. I did some back of the envelope calculations. If the balloon was supposed to be at 60,000 feet, 60,000 feet is, you divide that by 5,280, which is the number of miles, that you're talking about 15 miles. Okay, 15 miles is 20 kilometers.
20 kilometers.
20 kilometers. So you are bang on. You are bang on. 20 kilometers is where the first balloon was sighted. And your calculations at Mach 5, I was trying to do the calculations, but I didn't want to be rude and do things on my computer while you were talking. So you calculate, guys, at Mach 5, which is 5 times the speed of sound, how long will a missile take from that altitude to hit its target? Like Elmer says, if it's a nuclear missile, you don't have to be pinpoint on White House. the area is gone. So I'm not saying, I'm not making it a big deal, but the point I think is that does United States have the capacity to ward it off, shoot it into outer space, catch it before it lands? Because the time that is there is very, very, very narrow. Now, in all these things, Elmer, what is the information you're getting about, are there any chinks in their armor? Are there any weaknesses in the Chinese strategy? What do you think?
Of course, right now, U.S. is trying not to supply them with any chips.
Right.
But then, you only need a few thousand of those balloons. You can win. You can win a world war.
One balloon finds its target on White House.
and now we are talking about U.S. What about Japan? What about Taiwan? What about India? I mean, you invited me to Delhi last time. It's not so far from the border, right? They don't even need to come into your airspace. They can do something right away, and then from Pakistan, they are west of you. They can fly some balloon even into right overhead. There's nothing you can do, and it's very, very dangerous. Japan, imagine such a small country, anything from the air can shoot Tokyo, all right, and then Taiwan could be Taipei, right straight on Taipei. This is why we are wondering why Xi Jinping is so confident. All right, he's very confident. He must have something. This is probably one of his many cards, and including, of course, virus, biochemical, and stuff like that. But this is the one that we can see, and this we don't make it up. I mean, these two weapons are actually it's clear and present. We can see it very clearly, reported all over the world. So, but they don't want to. Most of the media don't want to marry the two together. They are still talking about spies and this and that kind of nonsense. All right, and if you look at how this guy Kirby, the NSC spokesman, how careful he's speaking, they have something very. They are meeting and discussing something very serious, and they don't want the public to know, because they don't want to scare the American. No, this is very normal under America. It's a very serious issue. And the second, third, and the fourth balloons, they just shoot it down. There is no more wait and see, because they understand it could be anything. It could be a total destruction. All the conventional weapons don't mean anything anymore, right? Your airplane, your nuclear submarine, your aircraft carrier, all that money you spend, you cannot beat this thing up. All right, this thing can then destroy you just right there. It's like pointing a gun to your head. Seriously, if you don't agree, they shoot, and there's nothing you can block. This is so close. It's really like a gun to your head. So I'm very, very worried. Hopefully, whenever they start a balloon, whenever it could be fly from a ship, from any land or anywhere, you have to shoot it down from the source. Don't even let it come to the atmosphere. You must cut it down. The other conventional weapon doesn't matter, but the so-called balloons, never let it lift from the surface of the earth because they are so dangerous.
Now, one of the interesting things that was shared that yesterday, the fourth object that was shot down over Lake Huron. Well,
Yes.
the interesting thing is the F-16 that fired at it, the first missile that it fired actually missed the target.
Missed. Mm-hmm.
So, well, then questions are being asked, was that object dodging from the missile? And that's how he missed the first one. And second one, it got it. So, have you got any update on that, Elmer?
No, I don't have any update on it. But finally, I think Trudeau has been warned of what the nature is. So he basically agreed immediately to shoot it down because it's not before the Chinese think the Canadians are easy, right? Easy to bully. So they were thinking probably they were entering always from Canada, and if it goes little east and then enter, they would be hitting New York and DC. So, but right now, of course, fortunately, Trudeau and America are working together. So, but that's not good enough. Siri, that is really not good enough. You have to hit it from the source because Japan is under threat. Japan is very, very risky, much more risky and they have discovered this balloon many times above head, and Taiwan is being threatened. So they can force you to give up because it's a matter of life and death. And a normal person, a normal human would say, "I rather surrender than get killed." So I would say that U.S. now they are no longer thinking about defensive. You have to be offensive to face enemy like such. You cannot be defensive anymore, because if you are defensive, you're dead. So I'm warning the world. Please take this seriously. Somehow people like to think easy, all right, and like to avoid thinking seriously. But this is a matter of life and death for all of us.
Well, the reason I'm smiling, I'm actually ruefully smiling, because if US loses, you and I will be spending a long time in one of the coldest prisoners camp in China. So
right now they do have the upper hand, I'm afraid. And he's not afraid to show it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, to shoot 5 or 6 at the same time, matter of a week, meaning that he is not afraid. He has confidence. If he does it, you cannot defend it. It's a very serious matter. I've been working all night on this issue, and this is their idea, and they are going to the whole world. I don't think anybody can avoid it. If Washington cannot avoid it, I don't see any other country can avoid it.
Absolutely. So, viewers, one of the things that you may or may not remember is how the intelligence failure that is now obvious, that the American intelligence failed to pick up all this work that was happening in Hainan Island. Elmer had told us about it a few episodes ago. I want Elmer just go back and tell us when the CCP wiped out the CIA agents in China. It happened a few years ago, right?
CIA. This is
Yes.
about more than 10 years ago. One person, they got hold of one person. This guy is, in fact, in jail in the States. It's a Hong Kong Chinese, Wong by the name. They got hold. He is the one who, for some reason, knows everybody, all their assets in China. And then the Chinese arrested all of them in a matter of a week. And then executed them all at once. So U.S. lost all its information from China. In China, they are getting some help from Japanese. Japanese are very good intelligence during the World War II. They are first class, and they never boast about it. American will brag about it, but Japanese never. Japanese is a good source. India, unfortunately, you don't know much about China. I'm sorry to say. All right.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
this
right.
is very and Taiwanese has some agent in China, but overall, I mean, the Chinese intelligence are also very good in keeping secret. They are very good, but looking at the Wuhan, there was some leak of Wuhan's virus information. The original, there was some leak to Australia, but this is mainly Chinese mistake, not from intelligence agency. The guy was sending information to his wife in Australia to keep it as all the secret in Wuhan about Xi Jinping knowing everything about it. They kept it for to ask the wife to keep it in case he's arrested, that can save his life. So anyway, but overall, the intelligence from China has been poor, has been very poor. Defectors, they do talk to CIA, but somehow they have relatives in China, so they're afraid of their safety. So it's a very serious situation. We need to do something, and the world should get together and hit them before they hit back.
Yes, indeed. In fact, if you remember, viewers, Hainan Island is where that submarine snafu also
Base,
happened. You know, where
submarine
the
base,
submarine base also
and
happened.
also the hit. Yes.
Yes, yes. And the reason why I keep showing this picture of the book behind me, Who Painted My State Purple, is I describe at length what is happening or how this Hainan Island is placed. My story revolves around that. Those of you who may have read the book may know about it, but I just wanted to bring that up. Anyway, long story short, there are times now where now everybody is looking for some clarity from the United States, and you can take our word or you can not take our word. Clearly, the official explanation of what is happening on the balloons is very, very short on words, and in fact, even shorter on details. So we have to wait and see how this plays out. Elmer, thank you so much for putting together.
I want to say a few words to your audience.
Yes.
This is serious stuff, not serious shit. But please pass it on to your friends. I'm not kidding, because this is everybody's safety is involved. All right, you don't need a rocket science to figure that out. I mean, we can all put one and one together. It's very simple. Please pass this video to all your friends. Let them understand, and you will have to put pressure on the government. They have to. We have to take out the CCP. Otherwise, it's a threat to the world.
Thank you so much, Elmer. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Even if you are in some camp in cold China, we'll be trying to reach you out with the latest about how the farming can be done there. I'm just kidding, of course. I don't think I'll be alive to say all that stuff. Anyway, I'm making up all these things. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but let us wait and see how this plays out. Thanks, Elmer, for sharing your views on this, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Namaskar.
Thank you, Siri. Thank you for inviting me.